What is the thing or the things that you look for in talent when you interview them, considering that the technical aspect is covered?
No, it's all about the attitude and energy.
Attitude and energy.
Yeah, we don't care about, university degrees or grade averages. For me, it's about when you come into the energy, into the interview, with which energy do you present yourself?
Today we have Timo, the founder of Cooltra, a company that has spent nearly 20 years reshaping electric urban mobility across Europe. But this episode isn't about scooters. It's about starting before you feel prepared. It's about building impact before it's trendy. And it's about what it really costs to stay in the game long term. Welcome to Reinventing Capitalism, the podcast where I, Claudia Thomas, decode the success of for-profit impact businesses through the stories of their founders. Our goal is to inspire you towards a purpose-driven career, because life's too short for boring jobs and soul-crushing corporations. Quick note before we get back to the episode. Just give me 30 seconds of your time. Two things. The first is a huge thank you for listening and tuning into the show week after week. It means the world to me. And the second is that we are just getting started. If you enjoy what we do here, please join the 14% of people that listen to this podcast regularly and follow us on this app. I promise to do everything in my power to make this show as good as I can, now and into the future. Thank you. Thank you so much for being here, first of all. I appreciate you coming all the way to this studio. Let's start by understanding what you do, or more importantly, what you've been doing for the past 20 years. For someone discovering Cooltra today, what is it?
Yeah, we are offering sustainable mobility solutions to go from A to B. And we do this for residents, but also for companies. And also we help city councils and public administration to organize and offer mobility services for their citizens. So we work in three verticals: B2C, B2B, and B2G.
B2G.
Yes.
Interesting. Business to government.
Yes.
Interesting. And how is the company different to when you founded it?
Yes. Well, in size, obviously, it's very
Obviously.
different now. I was employee number one. Now we have around 700. We had 20 mopeds when we started, and now we have more than 30,000. So size definitely changed, but also I think the mission got more clearer over the years. When we started, it was more brick and mortar rental to tourists, offering daily rentals for people that came to Barcelona and wanted to hire a vehicle. Now we really are a more technology-oriented mobility solutions provider. So we combine vehicle connectivity together with modern technology for users to interact with the vehicle directly with an app. For B2B users, we are now building up charging infrastructure in the cities in order that the riders can swap their batteries in a more autonomous way. So we are really developing and creating a different product than when we used to start off 20 years ago.
No, of course. It seems that the company has evolved a lot.
Yes.
What would you say is the mission of the company?
Yeah, we want to improve the air that we breathe in the city. So we think, and I'm convinced, we have done a significant impact by showing that electric mobility actually is an option. If you look at a city like here in Barcelona, or in any other European cities, the portion, the percentage of electric vehicle is still low. No? So we have been pushing light electric vehicles into the market. We are also pushing a lot e-bikes. So we have e-bikes in B2C and B2B for delivery fleets, for residents. So we are really pushing a lighter vehicle compared to a car or a truck or van that obviously has more CO2 emissions. So I truly believe we've been really impacting usage behavior in terms of using more CO2 friendly vehicles.
How do you track how many CO2 emissions do you prevent from getting into the atmosphere?
Yeah, no, we can measure that by the kilometers that are ridden on our vehicles. So we have a sustainability report, and we know exactly how many CO2 has been avoided.
Okay, so it's mostly based on the kilometers that a bike has made.
Yes, in the moped or the e-bike. And then taking an assumption of what kind of ride it's substituting.
Yeah, no, absolutely. I want to go back to the real beginning. I've read that you started from your garage.
Well, not my garage. It was like a garage that we rented near
A
Sagrada
garage.
Familia. A garage, yes, it's true. I mean, if you operate vehicles, it's necessary to have a workshop or garage.
Okay, so you use the garage as like your first office and your
in the
first...
first office, and that's where we rented out vehicles to customers. It was a small place in a small pathway near Sagrada Familia, not far away from the studio. And we started really off, me as the first employee, and then we hired a mechanic and a shop assistant. It was very bootstrapped how we all started off.
How was your life before being the founder of Cooltra?
Yes, I founded Cooltra. I'm now 52. It's now 20 years ago. So I was 32. I was a skiing instructor. I was a tennis instructor. I did economics degree. I studied in France, Argentina. Then I worked as a consultant, strategic management consulting company in Munich. And then I decided to do an MBA here in Barcelona at Jesse. It was a great experience, 2 years. During that time, I founded another business in the flower industry, which didn't kick off that well. So I had to stop that. And then I went back to work for a multinational as an assistant to the CEO. And then, with 32, I started the company.
What's the thing that you would say that most changed in your life? Like, it was your work ethic? Was the time that you worked? It was how you spent time, like your leisure time? Like, what is like the one thing that you clearly saw that it went from black to white?
Yes, well, starting to be an entrepreneur. On the positive side, the incredible freedom, to create, to decide who to work with, which brand to create, which business model to develop. But on the other hand, the incredible responsibility of never disconnecting.
Yeah.
So last 20 years, very rarely I disconnect.
That's crazy.
Yes. But it is how it is.
It's part of the job.
It's part of the job. It has a lot of upside. It's like always in life. There's black and white associated to everything. And here, for me, definitely the upside has prevailed and has been an incredible positive experience. Nevertheless, yes, it comes with a cost. There's a price to pay if you're so involved and you push all the time. You try to keep the project running. So yes, it takes a lot of your time and your energy.
It does. It seems though that you didn't have a lot of knowledge about the industry.
No, I'm not necessarily like a moped or e-bike passionist, I'm not like, I wasn't really, it wasn't like a hobby that I translated into a business. It was more the other way around. We thought it was a great opportunity to offer mobility solutions. Because by that time there wasn't any player that was really renting or leasing light vehicles, so that we saw a market opportunity. We approached it more from a business perspective.
Okay.
Or a solution-oriented perspective. Not that I was very passionate about the product as such. I got, over the time, I got very passionate about it.
Okay. No, of course. And like the more expertise that you get in a topic, the more passionate that you become as well. But how did you feel about launching a product of an industry that you did not know anything about?
No, it's true. Nevertheless, in our case, it's not only product, it's more a service, right? So it's a combination of hardware, software, customer service. I guess I felt comfortable managing the solution, the service. Obviously, I didn't know by myself how to repair a motorcycle, but therefore I always found people, mechanics, operations specialists, that could support me in that area. And that has been always the case. I mean, the same now. I'm definitely not 100% finance guy. I understand finances and the big concepts, etc. But I now have a great CFO that covers that part. The same in technology, the same in AI. So we have people dedicated to specific topics that are specialists.
Yeah, so you're saying that as soon as you understand that someone can do it better than you, outsource the expertise instead of try to do it yourself.
Yeah, not only for expertise, also for capacity, no?
Yeah.
If you grow the business, you need support.
Yeah, absolutely.
You need people.
You do. Actually, if we stay a moment in the concept of being ready and like coming up with ideas, we've gotten a lot of messages about people listening that they have ideas but they don't know how to act on them. Yes. And specifically in impact, because apparently it seems that they feel that the burden is bigger or larger.
Mm-hmm.
How do you prevent from being stopped?
Yes, no, very good point. Because I now try to go back in time, no, because you're always insecure, no, at the beginning, and you think, wow, I do this on such a small scale, will it have a real impact? I think it's just start and keep going, no. That's the main advice, to be resilient and keep working. I mean, I would never thought when we opened the first garage, no, with 20 motors, that we would ever be present in 7 countries on a large scale. So it all developed little by little, putting a lot of effort in it.
So what is the one thing that you believe will make things happen? Like, is there a common denominator that would normally, like, help things move forward? Like, is it effort? Is it consistency? Is it energy? What is it?
If you name these 3 concepts, all of them, no, it's a lot about your energy and being stubborn and trying to make things work, being resilient, being consistent. Keep pushing. Although sometimes, businesses don't work out as they're supposed to be, no? So it's also okay to understand, wow, there was a great idea, but the market, the demand, for example, is not really there. So at some moment, it's also important to understand to stop, no?
Yeah.
That happened in my first venture, for example, where there wasn't sufficient market demand.
Which was it? The flower. What did it do?
It was a more commercial project, so we did flower online sales, something like Colvin did a few years later. But for us back then, we had a lot of operational problems. We didn't have enough demand. That was basically, it's one of the biggest issues, no, is if there's not enough demand for your product or the service you offer. Of course, you can create demand, but then it's already very difficult, no, because you have to not only take over existing demand, or you also have to create a new category, etc. And that is difficult.
Yeah. It's a very interesting point, because you started with electric scooters 20 years ago.
No, we actually started with gasoline at the beginning. Yes, because back then we started, that is only 14 years ago when we started to switch to electric.
Okay.
We started with gasoline, yes, but we were one of the very, very early adopters for electric.
Okay, so it seems that maybe you started the company by problem solving on the last mile logistics for tourists, and then the mission about impact and sustainability came later. It developed.
Yes.
How?
No, because we saw a clear opportunity that there was a product, electric vehicle, started to become available. So we thought, wow, that's so cool. We can have an impact and can offer an electric solution to the user. So we were the first ones, and through the business model we had, that we were actually purchasing from our side. So the user didn't have to purchase. He just has to pay a monthly or daily pass, or pay per minute or per day. So for the user, let's say the barrier to enter into the electric segment, we decreased that barrier for the user.
But 14 years ago, was the industry ready, or were customers ready?
No, and we still have the case. For example, in some segments we try to push electric, more sustainable solutions, but the customer selects another type because she's afraid of getting stuck. She thinks she cannot load or recharge the battery, etc. So the user has some barriers in their mind.
But if for the user, like if you're speaking about B2C or B2B or B2G?
Well, we do different concepts. So in B2C, we do free float, so where the vehicles are parked on the street, but you could also contract a monthly subscription.
Yeah.
Where you come into a shop, or we deliver the vehicle to you and you pay month by month.
But in this case, for users, it doesn't change whether if the vehicles are run with gas or electricity.
Well, in the subscription case, yes, because the user will be in charge of charging. So it's a difference if she goes to the gas station or she charges a battery.
Got it. Yeah. Okay, so it's like another burden, like another thing that the user needs to do to keep the vehicle alive.
Yes, but you have the benefits of saving energy because the cost of running an electric vehicle is lower than a gasoline.
Yeah. Okay, so from a cost perspective, it makes sense.
It makes sense. Okay. But as I said, there's some mental barriers why there's not such a big adoption of electric vehicles. I mean, you see it on the street.
Yeah.
Could be much more penetrated. There are not sufficiently information, education. I still feel there's not sufficient subsidies or government help to really, really help the adoption of a new technology.
So am I correct in saying that the biggest barrier is the burden of charging the vehicles?
That is one thing that's in the mind, and it's basically the autonomy. People think that with a gas scooter they can drive more kilometers and then they go to any gas station, but it's a fallacy because it's the same with a battery charged vehicle. They can have up to 120 kilometers range, and you just have to charge it like a mobile.
Okay, well, I hope all listeners here change their perspectives about what an electric vehicle is, or the burden that an electric vehicle brings.
Yes, that would be great. If you can find some new users.
Exactly.
Switching to electric.
I hope so.
It improves the air that we breathe.
And how about with B2C and B2G? Because are we talking about the same burdens for B2C and B2G?
B2B and B2G? No, B2B is they're basically professional users. So they have fleets of vehicles for example, police, local governments, or delivery companies, or companies that repair elevators or repair other electric installations, etc. So companies that use the vehicle for professional usage. There, the adaptation is bigger because at the end it's a cost argument, and people understand that electric vehicles use less gas or energy than fuel driven.
I love this word cost. How do you convince or explain to another business or to the government that an electric scooter is not only greener but it's also smarter financially?
They do the numbers, we do the numbers with them. You can calculate that.
Okay.
You know it's not only the acquisition cost, it's the total cost of ownership, between maintenance cost, between energy cost, etc. So people in the B2B and B2G it's more sophisticated users, and they do cost analysis on the vehicle. They compare us to vans. For example, in Amazon now we have an opportunity to enter with three-wheel vehicles, electric three-wheelers. They compare this to a traditional van. The city councils actually help us to a certain extent with their policies, because for us, banning cars or charging CO2 tariffs, etc., helps obviously our business model.
Okay, so it's very quantifiable.
It's
very
we
like the decision. It's very
for the user. Yes.
Yeah.
Yes, it is.
It's a financial model. They can see very clearly like what they
with
gain.
20 motors, electric motors compared to gasoline, I save so
XYZ. Exactly. Okay, interesting. So it's not an irrational decision of just wanting to do good. You can quantify what the company is getting.
Yes.
Amazing.
Nevertheless, there's always a conceptual thing. No, some companies are more inclined to invest into sustainable transport than others.
Yeah.
They use it also in order to promote their products towards their customers.
Yeah. And how has the growth scalability, period of Cooltra? Sorry, I'm a late adopter. How has it been for you when it comes to balancing the purpose of the company and the growth of the company?
Yes, I mean, for example, do we accept customers that want gasoline scooters? Yes, there is, unfortunately, but it's a reality that of our fleet we have, I think now, a penetration of 85% is electric, 15% is still gasoline driven. There are customer segments that ask for gasoline scooters. So there, I mean, we for us the customer comes first, so there is still some segments that prefer another alternative, which is okay. But the important thing is the trend, the large majority of our fleet is electric, which is great.
Yeah, I feel that like Cooltra is definitely known by its electric vehicles more than the gas vehicles. How does it make you feel, the fact that you want to, like change everyone's perspectives on like the sustainability side and electric vehicle side, but then you still have like that small part of the company where like you cannot let go of, and it's still like run by gas vehicles? Like how do you handle that?
That I guess it's okay. It's about accepting imperfections in general. No, I think very important your intention, very important where the trip goes to. Like what's the long-term mission to be 100% electric. But it's also okay. I mean, running a business is always a trade-off. It's never 100% one direction. You always have to find compromises, accept imperfections. But it's the overall objective, is to build a 100% sustainable company. But I think it's also, you have to put it into perspective. Other companies don't rent any electric at all. Like for example, in Formentera, it's an island in the Balearic Islands, here near to the coast of the Paradise. It's a small island. We are the only vehicle rental company with electric, and there are 100.
Yeah.
So are we doing everything great on a large scale? No, maybe we have some gas scooters in some areas, but at least we try to be on the forefront of moving towards a more sustainable way of mobility.
The reason I'm asking is because I feel that this happens a lot when it comes to impact sustainability, where like if you are someone that cares about the environment, you need to do everything that is in your hands. So you need to stop eating meat, you need to buy secondhand, you need to not travel, you need to, like that's not really the point. Like the point is to do some changes in your behavior so that other people, so that you can influence other people. But it's impossible in the world that we live in to just be perfect and like, like have basically like act in the same way in all aspects of our life. Why are people so cynic with how we do things? Like why does it have to be all or nothing?
That's a good question. I don't have the answer. It's maybe with age I understand that life is about living this trade-off between perfection and imperfection, and that it can't go all 100% right. And but for me there's a concept behind. It's intention and what is like the majority of actions and behaviors we do.
Yeah, I just find it unfair because people can literally label a company or a person as a hypocrite just because they're not 100% of something. It's hard.
It's very hard
to be 100% of something.
I liked how you agree with eating behaviors or sports behaviors or travel behaviors. It's very difficult to decide, but I think everybody here is their own guardian of their values.
I agree.
So you have to be fine with yourself.
Yeah, aligned with yourself. Exactly. Hi, can I ask you a quick favor? Every week, we dive into the stories of founders that do more than just make money. Our mission is to prove that a career in impact can be both purposeful and financially sustainable. If you believe in creating meaningful work, share today's episode with one friend who's ready to make a difference. It would mean a great deal to me. Your support is what keeps this show alive and growing. Thank you. Let's move towards concept of talent, skills, and working in impact. If someone wants to work for an impact-driven business, what are the skills that you think that matter the most?
Yeah, honestly, I see it's another sector. It's that people have basically just a different conviction and think that the purpose is another criteria next to the other professional criteria. I mean, talent wants to be well remunerated, wants to have benefits, wants to work on a challenging project, wants to work in a nice office culture, wants to work hybrid. So, but some talent also for them, it's on the top of their list to work on an impact-driven business. Yes, thank you. Exactly. So for them, we are an alternative, or other impact companies are an alternative. For some people, maybe this is not a criteria. So I think there's a natural match. In companies like ours, where there's many people that for them sustainability is important, and they just feel good about it, that they work on a product like ours.
Yeah, because they are putting their skill set at the service of others, and that psychologically has a huge positive effect. So if you consider that the skill set is the same, what is the thing or the things that you look for in talent when you interview them, considering that the technical aspect is covered?
No, it's all about the attitude and energy.
Attitude and energy.
Yeah, we don't care about, I don't know, university degrees or grade averages. For me, it's about when you come into the energy, into the interview, with which energy do you present yourself? It's more trying to grasp forward looking. It's about, yes, you can deduct or understand about a person's history, a little bit how they've taken decisions, what projects they work on. But it's much more important for me to hear the motivation of the candidate, why they want to work, what they want to achieve, where they want to end up in the long run. That's why it's so important to have, for me, it's okay to do first interviews virtually, but at some moment it's very important to also be in the same room or be close to a candidate to really understand fully in a personal way, understand their motivations, why they sign up for a project.
And I understand the motivational part. How do you differentiate people that just apply because Cooltra is a company that Cooltra? I'm gonna.
You'd like to add the E?
I like to add the E.
It's okay. It's electric.
From people that want to apply to Cooltra because it's a company that's doing very well, that it's growing, and that has a lot of talent already within the company, with people that are actually passionate about that, about making air
a difference. Yes.
Yeah, about making a difference. And like the mission that you were saying, like making air better for everybody. How do you differentiate both? Like, is it instinct, or like is it certain questions that you ask?
No, good questions. I mean, we try to have people involve them into, or ask them for some project work to explain, to solve a case, and we also have the philosophy that it's helpful that many people interview the person, so it's not only the direct report, but also the peers and even people that work with her or below her, to really understand with different people the motivations of the person. Yes, questions. I think there is an art in interviewing that you learn over time. I think it helps. It's like a degree. If you run a lot of interviews, I think you get better at it. So that's at least in my case. I think I'm now I'm more effective, or I have more chances of success than when I interviewed 15 or 20 years ago. Nevertheless, it's not an easy thing. Normally, it's really, really hard to, within only interview process, to understand if there's a great fit between the candidate and the company on both sides, not only because also for the candidate, maybe during the interviews she sees something, has a vision of the job or the responsibility, but then afterwards she finds out that things are different. The same the other way around. So it's still always a guess.
I know what you mean. What is your top secret weapon when interviewing?
But it's all about, I'm a little bit picky about standards. So for me, you have to fulfill some minimum standards. For example, if person hands a CV or a letter, which is basically you have all the time of the world to review it, etc. If there are orthographic errors, this is for me a hygienic factor, which is not okay.
I get it.
Or coming late without excusing. These are things that normally, if this happens, then it's already a no-go. That's clear. Yes, and then asking more deeper questions also about future, put them into situations. What would you do if you get the job? What would your plan for the next 100 days be? Understanding in past situations when there were conflicts, how the candidates solved them. Then be asking references. It's for free. I mean, that's a really great way to understand how this person performed beforehand in other situations. So asking for references. That's why it's the big advice for all candidates. It's always very important also how you leave a company, because we had situations, like an important position, people say, hey, I'm leaving and I'm out in 3 days. That's totally irresponsible. So imagine somebody in the future calls me about this person. I will definitely mention that this person has left the company within 3 days without doing a correct handover. So it's very, very important from both sides, no? From the company side, but also the employee side. It's also how you leave a company, no? How you behave. And as an employer, you want to treat the employee as you want to be treated as well.
I agree. It's a matter of respect and showing which values drive your decisions.
Because it's always possible to negotiate and find compromise. Even if you have to accept a job in a new company, you can always talk. And normal, like an HR person or like say a director that hires you has to understand that you have to do a correct handover in the previous job.
Yeah, yeah.
But it's not common sense.
But it's not common sense.
No.
Yeah, interesting. Interesting. So for people that want, like to make a career change, they want to get into impact, have a more purpose-driven job, but they can't quit tomorrow. What's the small move that these people can do?
I think nowadays there's so many resources online, but also in life about events, weekend seminars, impact hubs, or in the big cities where you can join, even if you're still working on another project on another company where you can join and get into that world and starting to connect. I think that's a great first step, no?
So learning and connecting.
Yes.
Amazing.
And there's both, I refer to both virtual and also presential resources.
Yeah.
Because there's a lot of webinars and podcasts, etc. But there's also oftentimes, for example, we had Norskin, which is an impact hub here in Barcelona. There are a lot of events, even for outside people, where you can sign up. But I mean, there are a lot of other resources.
No, so many.
Yes.
And also it's underrated how much people value an in-person connection and like attending to an event. Like literally, like you go to an event, someone presents and like you stand up for 2 minutes and just like, congratulate the person or thank them. That goes a long way.
Yes.
And we've forgotten to do that.
I agree, totally agree.
So we're getting to the end of the interview.
Okay.
You're sad.
Yes, a good question.
So if you look back on these last 20 years on your journey, what's a belief about yourself that you had to let go of or that you had to build while building Cooltra?
Yeah, it's about this having everything under control.
Okay.
That's a belief that when you're on a small scale, you have impact and you can influence everything around you. But then if the company grows bigger, both in size of people, of geographies, there are a lot of things that don't go as you think they go.
As you would have planned.
So, and accepting that and then having to correct things that have not gone right, that's definitely a big learning. And for founder that have built up everything from scratch, it's difficult, to accept. And then also let go that there are in a big organization of 700, there might be some employees that have different values or different concepts and different attitudes and follow different norms. And that's also part of it. So it's again what I mentioned earlier. It's about imperfections. And what you can do is influence the majority of important decisions and the majority of people, but there will always be exceptions, struggles, problems. So it's clear for me, every morning I wake up, there are at least 2 or 3 unexpected problems that come to my desk. So that's really normal. It's like if you are you're working on yourself or you're a student, it's so much you can influence on your own. But if you're working on a bigger project, there's so many things that are out of your hand.
Yeah, it's very Socratic, like just controlling what you can't control. Forget about what you can't, because there's just so much you can do.
Yes.
Yeah, and that's a good advice also for like everything else in your life.
Yes.
Like you cannot control how humans think or act or feel or behave. So the only thing that you can do is to be reactive and control how you feel about it.
Very good.
Yeah.
I like it.
Good.
In managing my emotions, it has been very important as a CEO of running a business like this.
I can imagine.
Yes.
There's just so much happening.
Yes, so much happening.
You go up and down 50 times in the same day.
Yes.
Yeah.
And managing your own emotions, it's very important, not to be impulsive, not to react too quickly. It's also, for example, if there comes, these emails that you don't agree with, and the instinct says, I want to write back in 1 minute. The best advice is to wait 24 hours.
Yeah.
If it's conflictive email, And it's so much better not to react. If you have a conflict, not email, not WhatsApp, call or a personal meeting. That's so powerful. Because
Totally.
on emails, things escalate for misunderstandings because it's so much easier to explain things in person or in telephone, and you can be empathetic. You can ask a person. So conflict resolution, the media is so important. It's such a difference in live or video call or then compared to only a WhatsApp or an email.
I agree. There's so misunderstandings
Yes.
in written form.
Yes.
Because you don't know what's the tone that people are saying
Exactly.
things in. Because maybe you read it and you think that, like the person is angry, but actually the person was just saying it in a very natural
Yes.
and calm tone.
That can happen. Yes.
That can happen.
Mm-hmm.
So the business is stable now. The profit is consistent. You've been 20 years working in the same industry, so you have a lot of expertise in what you're doing. How has the concept of purpose evolved for you?
Mm-hmm. Yeah, also very good question. I think the first 15 years it was much more struggling, to make the business work and survive. So we were very much in survival mode at the beginning, and that's why we were talking earlier on that you sometimes have to make compromises in terms of do I have to do everything according to purpose, or do I also have to make money? Because otherwise the company dies. No, so it was very much about the struggle for profitability and being sustainable with a difficult business model in general, with a lot of operation, a lot of cost, high asset investment. So it wasn't easy at all. No, so once a company is a little bit more stable, you can also focus more on other topics. No, so that has evolved definitely.
So am I correct in saying that now, because the company is stable, you have more time or more headspace to focus on what you want the company to be?
Yes.
So you've gotten out of survival mode and you are now building the company that you want.
Yes, but also to comply more with some also official like we have now a much better sustainability reporting. We're selecting debt financing which tries to be ESG. So there's more time for making also the company more sustainable. Besides being in survival mode.
Yeah. Thank God that you got there.
Yes.
Well, Tino, thank you so much for your time. I've loved our conversation, and I do think that slowly but surely you are changing people's mindsets. I didn't know what an e-scooter was, and I'm a big time user of Cooltra, like literally.
Thank you.
And a lot of my friends are too. Like I think if you don't have the burden of like charging the vehicle, which I understand it's something a mental barrier for a lot of people. It's just super convenient. It's actually very convenient to move around the city with a Cooltra. And I think for people, if you can have convenience plus doing something that it's better for the world and for society and for the air that you breathe, why not do it? So hopefully more people think like this after listening to this interview. So thank you so much.
Thank you so much, Claudia.